Hi all, how are you?
Hey,
Hello, good.
hey.
How you doing?
Yeah, great, thank you. And it's such a pleasure to be able to speak to you all. And I'd love to know to start with, what was it about the documentary and the people that story revolved around that really made all of you want to take part in telling their stories in this film?
Oh man, I mean, it's just a beautiful story of us, right? And this idea, what it is for a man to come back to the community, need the community in order to find himself, but also needed to pass on knowledge and information, specificity within boxing to young boys. I mean, listen, we all love a great boxing movie, but now you intersect that with a man reclaiming his soul and this idea that André Holland gets to be so conflicted and so dark and so very interesting as he really diligently wants to help these kids, but he really has to help himself in order to be able to help anyone. It's just, I mean, just a very, I love this idea of cinema, child adolescence literally being punched in the face with like a Karate Kid narrative.
hmm
Yeah.
And for me, it was empowering the kids with this sense
Yeah.
of exercising their right of, uh, uh, of self-determination, and empowering them and letting them know that they have it within their humanity to do whatever they want to,
Yes.
and whatever their hearts desire, that it's within their grasp.
Mhm.
I like to say that it's not a dream, that it's a vision. A dream, you're asleep when you're thinking about it. A vision is you're wide awake, you're
Mhm.
present, you can see it and obtain it. And that's what I like
Mhm.
to actually see that embodied in not only the child actors we were working with, but the characters themselves.
Yeah. And I think for me, it's a story of transformation in a lot of ways with Walt, using boxing as a way to tell that story, a sport that challenges you to do the same thing over and over and over again. And the promise is that if you do it for long enough and well enough and with enough dedication, you can actually transform who you are. You can transform yourself.
Mhm.
I think that part really spoke to me. And I think I see that, in Walt's kind of character progression.
Amazing, thank you so much. And Wendell, whether it's Bunk Moreland or Perry White or James Greer, I
Hey.
always love seeing you in these commanding, authoritarian-like roles. But what was it
Yes.
about Slim that, really excited you and made it a character you wanted to explore and figure out in the course of making this film?
It's really, like I say again, that the focus of it was, well, actually, to work with these two gentlemen, right? First, I read the script that Sheldon wrote and was immediately moved by it, and then to get a chance to work with Andre, and that was the clarity of the job and the situation for me. To work with creatives like these two gentlemen on that high level, that's what you really want to build your body of work with, and then to work with the kids, right? Because children, child actors, they make you earnest, with your work, and no artifice. All the artifice goes away. You have to be pure and instant and in the moment because they are that themselves. And so that's what I loved about this project.
Fantastic. And Andre, talking to the younger cast members, working with Anthony B. Jenkins, fantastic young actor playing Peanut here. But how much fun was it for you to explore that dynamic between Walt and Peanut and just to get to work on some really heavy scenes with him, being such a young talent?
It was wonderful, man. I learned so much from working with all of the young people. I mean, Anthony is amazing. He's so honest and sincere, and those eyes, they're so
Hmm.
beautiful. And Toussaint has such a wonderful like playfulness and also depth. And he's able to go to some real serious places, partly to do, I think, with the fact that his father, Francois, is an incredible actor. And then of course, yeah, exactly. And Tori, like, similarly, like has so much energy, so much creativity and imagination. They taught me more about acting, I think, than I taught them.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Sheldon, obviously we've got boxing scenes in the film, and you're working with much younger actors than we might typically see in a boxing movie. So was that quite a challenging process for you as a filmmaker to guide them through those scenes and to just get them right for their respective characters?
Oh yeah. I mean, you think about this movie, we're experiencing for the first time kids in headgear and oversized boxing gloves in a film, right? And so for me, these kids are such wonderful natural actors. They're old souls, but I had to put them in a boxing boot camp. So Upton Boxing Center in Baltimore, Maryland, my beloved Baltimore. Coach Calvin Ford, Coach Josh Powell. Coach Josh got them right, and literally, had those kids going through it to, get as close to young boys venturing into their boxing journeys. And I'm super proud of. I walked in that gym during boxing boot camp. I was like, okay, all right, this is my tightrope act here of kids acting and also kid actors boxing. I feel like we're gonna be all right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And Wendell and Andre, when you're playing real life figures, how do you really find the right balance between imitating them and making sure you can be authentic in yourselves to tell the story the right way?
Well, you find whatever similarities you may have first and try to identify that. And as students of human behavior, you watch someone and how they appear and how they dress, or it gives you a clue into their personalities. But at the same time, it is a narrative film. You try to honor the person that you're playing, but also create this character that is written on the page, and it becomes an amalgam of the two. But you try to approach it from being a student of human behavior first and foremost.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
same for you in that respect, Andre, especially obviously as sadly your character Walt no longer with us, of course. You could maybe speak with him about his experiences.
Yeah, yeah. But we had the documentary to go on, and
Yeah.
that was very insightful. And there always comes a point at which you have to just let your imagination kind of take over. And I feel like I knew enough about the character, enough about the world at a certain point to go for it. So yeah, and it was in the very capable hands of our brother Sheldon, who did a brilliant job. So
Yeah, absolutely agree. And Sheldon obviously adapted a documentary like this. It's a fantastic documentary, and this is a fantastic film. But what are some of the biggest challenges in kind of translating that story from that format to obviously a narrative one like this film?
Yeah, I mean, you have to. The documentary is so beautifully made by Andrew Renzi and Michael Minahan, who wrote the Washington Post article. And so you have to be very mindful of like honoring it and honoring the lives, but then also knowing that you're adapting it to make a movie that goes to a place of cinema, right? And that's a very, very tough thing to do. And I'm just super, super thankful, as someone said to me, I watched this movie and you honored every character in this film. And it just sent a chill through my body because I think that's just super important. Yeah. Yep.
Amazing. And Wendell, I mentioned Perry White earlier. We've
Mhm.
been seeing some set photos from Man of Tomorrow of obviously David and Nicholas, both suited up. So anything you
Mhm.
can tease about Perry White in that one and how excited you are for people to see it?
No.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Nice try though. That was
I
good.
tried.
Uh, I don't think there's anything I can say about that now.
Had to ask, but no, I'm glad to keep the focus on this
Yeah.
film because it is such a special film and it's a really important inspirational story. And I'd love to know what you all hope audiences will take away from the story after seeing it.
Please, Andre.
I hope they walk away being inspired by
Yeah.
the incredible performances of these young people.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
And hopeful for the next generation of artists who are coming.
Yes.
He just took my answer. Hope. I want people to feel hopeful, and be touched by that, touched by the possibility.
Yeah. And as cliche as it would sound, just for people to be inspired to never stop fighting for their dream. And that doesn't matter whatever age you are. The minute you identify your dream in this life, just don't stop fighting for it. Dedicate your time to the work, to the sweat equity, the Gladwell's 10,000 hours, and just keep swinging for your happiness towards what it is you want to do.
Amazing. That's a wonderful message and a wonderful film. So thank you so much for your part in telling it. And thank you so much for the time today because I'm a big fan of all of you. It's been lovely speaking
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much.
Thank you.